You guys just you keep coming around. I just keep hearing about you guys.
And I might need to tell Ryan to cut that up a little bit and just put it in my audio for my phone.
First of all, I love the game. I had a passion to play the game, not only football, but I love the game of golf. And what it lends to a person and the friendships you develop on the golf course.
It's been a pleasure being on the drop. I wish you guys all the best down the road.
As someone like you have that golf itch like a lot of us do.
I keep track of you, and you are moving. You are on the move.
So listen, I'm a big New Jersey golf guy. You're very kind, Mike, and you too, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be on just a couple of Jersey boys here talking about something we love. All the best. I really enjoyed it.
This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? Welcome back. It is episode 143. Happy July. You got 4th of July, I would say around the corner, but it's closer than around the corner as this is July 1st coming at you. Mike, we got a loaded episode. There's been a bunch of stuff coming out. You and I have been kind of busy. Let's get into it. Tell the people what's upcoming, shall we?
Works for me.
Yesterday, Monday, which was June, unfortunately, June 30th, Mike came out with a Mike verse, the 8th hole at Essex County Country Club, which is nice. 8th hole, Mike did his thing, recorded. You guys have seen that series. But for the first time, the Drop Podcast released a full 18 holes with Mike at Essex County yesterday. And it's a 15, 20-minute video on every shot that Mike takes there. And you're going to kind of see why we're doing it. But Essex County is hosting the New Jersey AM. Right, Mike? Am I right on that tournament?
Yep.
Sometimes I get confused on the tournaments. Next week, so we wanted to showcase the course and not just like Mike's shots, but show where they went as well as giving you the course, kind of layout and all that it shows. So for those that are playing in it, you got a great little preview here of Mike playing the course and seeing it live. So that came out yesterday as well. So a big day yesterday, Monday. Today, Tuesday, episode 143. You got Mike and I here. If you're listening, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, rate, review, give us a listen, give us a like, all those things that we ask for. You don't know how far those go for us. So please, again, I hate when people say it, but smash that like button. Right? 2 claps. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I got to play Pine Barrens. I didn't play Essex County with Mike, but we've kind of done some dividing and conquering. I played Pine Barrens. The 7th hole is a par 4. Mike, I don't know if you remember. I know you said you haven't played it in a long time, but the 7th hole is a reachable par 4. It plays 271 yards from the tees that we played. I go for it. You're going to have to tune in tomorrow to see how I do with it. So that's tomorrow, Pine Barrens, the 7th hole there. And then Thursday, we stay on the Essex County of it all. And we have Don McCabe, a.k.a. Don Magic Juan, the head golf pro at Essex County. Again, talking about the AM and talking about the course and kind of a preview for what's going on. And I will say, Mike, I felt like I just sat back and enjoyed you guys talking about the course. And if I'm someone who is playing in this, like I feel like I know the course now because I didn't go play with you that day. So I kind of have a much better idea of what's going on now after that. So it was really, I'm telling you guys, if you're listening to this and you're playing in it, I'm giving you firsthand experience. I was in the interview and I felt like from someone who hasn't played it, I got a good lesson on it. So stay tuned for that on Thursday. So you got Monday, Mike's hole 18, and you got an interview Thursday. You don't even need a yardage book after all those. So that's our and then Friday is TBD. We got some, there's some things in the works, but we'll see what ends up coming out.
It's definitely an exciting week for anybody participating in the New Jersey Golf Amateur Championship. I'll tell you that. You got all different types of content busting out, through the grapevine for that. Today's episode is brought to you by All County Exteriors, your go-to for roofing, siding, windows, doors, and all things exterior home remodeling. As a third-generation family-owned company with over 40 years of experience, All County has earned the reputation for top quality craftsmanship and service, far outlasting the industry standard. Whether it's a small repair or a full home upgrade, they serve both homeowners and builders across New Jersey. They're deeply rooted in the community, proudly supporting Make-A-Wish, St. Jude's, Roofs for Troops, and parents of autistic children. Thinking about a project? Now's the time. Get an instant 20% off for a limited time. Call 732-370-2780 or email them info@allcountyonline.com to schedule your free, no obligation consultation. That's 732-370-2780. All County Exteriors. Quality you can trust. Let me hit you with the fast facts. And I don't know how quick I can be with this because, man, oh man, what a weekend, unfortunately, it was for Max Greyserman. It was a heartbreaker in every which way that you diagnose it. I mean, I'll say this. I was not at the TV at all. I was out and about at Beach Blast down in Wildwood for my kids' soccer tournament. I'm getting texts from you. I'm getting texts from members at Eagle Ridge. My phone is blowing up. Even DMs are saying, I'm sure you're watching this right now, yelling at the camera, at the screen. I just didn't see anything. I watched the highlights. I heard from you. But if you're living under a rock and listening to this podcast, Max did lose in a playoff at the Rocket Classic.
Fifth hole playoff.
I knew you were watching. Give me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it really was heartbreaking. Unfortunately, I was not at a soccer tournament or anything, but I was at work for most of the day. But when I got home, I flipped on the grill. I made some burgers. I turned on the golf. I made myself a cocktail, and I was in and out watching the golf. And then once the burgers and the broccoli were ready, I sat down and had myself a nice chill, relaxed time. But it was only chill for a little bit because it was his maybe 17th, 18th hole. And then I saw the playoff. Man, it was really heartbreaking. Some of those putts were just so good. I mean, he missed 2 putts in the playoff holes by centimeters. I mean, if they're 2 or 3 centimeters to the left or to the right, it catches the rim and probably lips in. Instead, it just burns the edge. And man, it was heartbreaking. He played so good. And I even sent it to you. That shot he had, little baby draw into a tucked pin, was such a good shot. Left him might have been 15 feet, something like that. He put such a good putt on it, and it just stopped breaking for a second, and just heartbreak. But what a shot. It was really heartbreaking. I do think that it's just a matter of time for Max. We've talked about it. It really is. And they said something on the broadcast, Mike. Since the beginning of last season, Max now has the most runner-ups of anybody on the PGA Tour.
Not a stat you want, though.
No, it's not a stat you want, but it shows you how close you are. Justin Thomas, you might have heard of him, and Colin Morikawa, you might have heard of him. That's who he was tied with. So, yeah, it's not a stat you want, but it just shows how close he is. He's knocking on the door, and it's only going to be a matter of time before he kicks it down and rolls a couple in. But kudos to the other guy. I don't know. I forget what his how to pronounce his name, but it was South African guy. It was really he had some big stones hitting some of the shots. The shot he hit out of the bunker on the 15th hole was incredible. I mean, straight as an arrow. You've got to think that, like, okay, he's not going to get clean contact, or it's really a tough shot. No, he just perfect. Might as well have been in the fairway. That's how perfect the contact was. And then drains a long putt. Anytime that you're gonna knock down a long putt like that, it's it's well deserving. So good on him. And tough one for Max, man. And his interview after, I thought he did a great job of, like, I think, Mike, and we go back to, was it last week we talked about Wyndham Clark in the Oakmont locker rooms, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was that we had mentioned those locker rooms. Then, like, Brooks, that stuff with Brooks came out this week, breaking the T marker. Rory did that a couple weeks ago as well. Matt, so there's been some anger in the golfing world lately. Max, given his interview after, he was clearly disappointed, distraught, angry, upset, whatever you want to, whatever, all the adjectives he was. But to give his interview and say, like, yeah, I'm really disappointed. Like, this is going to sting for a while. I got 2 weeks off and I got to get back on the horse. Like, it was a classy interview in a time where it could have been easy to just be like, nah, I'm good. I can't right now. So good on him for doing that. That's not always the easiest thing, which we've kind of talked about. It's always kind of funny, like NBA finals, like, oh, we send it to the loser's locker room. Let's go see what the vibe's like. Okay. Well, of course the vibes are low there. So it was, I thought it was really classy. Did it right on the green there. And it was, I thought that was really good, really good for him. We're seeing Max grow before our eyes. We really are, not just as a golfer, but as his golf game, but you're seeing him become a man in front of it, those kind of things. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, so he finished T2. Chris had a good week too, not to kind of be left out. He did finish T26. Unfortunately, John did miss the cut. And as we look ahead to this week,
Mike, Chris made a little push. I don't know if you saw it, but during the day, I think he got up to T9. At one point, I think he was 3 under through 7 holes or something like that. For a little while, something maybe 2 under through 6. Somewhere in there, but he was trying to make a little push, and again, I was only watching on my phone at that time, so I didn't really get to see too much on how he did after that. But he was trying to make a push too. That he had possibilities of backdooring top 10 too.
Yeah. So as we look ahead to the old John Deere Classic, Chris and John are both in the field there. So best of luck to them this week. Hopefully, they can continue some good play. And then as we go down to the Korn Ferry Tour. James did miss the cut. Ryan, nothing to brag about, did make the cut, did go T62, cashed a check, nothing of significance though. And
still snapping necks.
Yeah, no doubt. And this week they're off. So we're just looking at the straight up John Deere Classic before we get going for the, the final major of the season out there at the British Open. So that is it for the Fast Facts this week.
Yeah. Tough for James to miss the cut. I know I saw him post something about, also being disappointed and having to get back at it as well. And like you said, T62, nothing to write home about. But as we've talked about for Ryan, as kind of roller coaster as his season has been, consistently making cuts is going to be huge for him. So I think that's big. And I think honestly, everybody, deserving of a week off here. So there's the Fast Facts for you. Mike, let's get into some other topics. I want to talk real quick about a couple videos before, just give everyone a little quick update on our video series that we got. My recap of Rock Spring came out a couple weeks ago. We didn't really talk too much about it last week, but if you didn't go see it or you didn't watch it, head over to our YouTube channel. It's me versus the front 9 and seeing if I can break a number. And unfortunately wasn't able to get there, but again, Rock Spring, the place is really, really good. I sent some people there actually recently, Mike. They asked me, like, trying to get out of the area, where should we play? I sent them up to Rock Spring, so that was really cool. So if you didn't check that one out, go over to YouTube, check out the Rock Spring video of me on the front 9 there. And then, Mike, let's talk a little bit about yesterday's Essex County video. That you went out there. We were able, for the first time, to film all 18 holes. Usually it's you, me filming the front, you filming the back, or something like that. But this is your full 18, without really giving stuff away because it hasn't necessarily been out for 24 hours yet. But what were your thoughts on the video? How did it go? What was it like? Again, I wasn't there, so what was it like doing all the holes there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it was interesting because, Shaq and I weren't really sure like how we were going to go about it. Is it going to be more of like a history thing? Is it going to be more just straight up golfing? And I said, listen, let's just flow with this. Let's just record all these shots. Let's see how we play. Let's kind of give the audience, along with the participants in next week's amateur championship, like an idea of what the golf course looks like, because it was a perfect day. The course was in unbelievable shape. So we just went shot by shot all the way through the round. So you get to see a lot of different aspects of the golf course. it was nice that I was able to keep the ball in play. So, which a lot of these players that are going to be doing are going to see more fairways and greens rather than, trees and bunkers. But I kind of get a full experience of good shots, good holes, bad holes. And you just get to get a different visual, because I know for us, we're always trying different ways to, preview these majors that our state holds. And what better way, again, to get this video out the week before these guys go out there? They'll hear Don break it all down himself on Thursday. They got the video that came out yesterday. It's just another way for us to kind of help any of the caddies, the participants out there playing. So I thought Shaq did an unbelievable job in doing that. So yeah, it's one of those things. Hey, listen, go check it out. It lives up to, you know, a lot of what people say about that golf course, about it being unbelievable, special, unique, and beyond historic. Are you looking for the perfect place to tee it up this season? Or just looking for a great spot for casual comfort food? Or the most picturesque backdrop for the wedding of your dreams? Then you need to visit Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey. Galloping Hill has 18 holes of championship level golf open all year round. They also offer a top 50 in the country learning center that also includes the swing suite at Galloping Hill for those bad weather days during the season, in addition to a 9-hole course that is ranked in the top 10 of short courses in the entire country. Galloping Hill is more than just golf. The Hill Tavern Bar and Grill is a gastro pub with seasonal food and beer options updated regularly with amazing views of the course. Hosting over 150 golf outings and over 400 social events per year, their catering team wins awards each year from the Knot and Wedding Wire. Schedule a tour for your special event at the clubhouse at gallopinghill.com. To top it all off, Galloping Hill will be hosting the New Jersey Men's Public Links Championship for the record 12th time. It's all happening this year at Galloping Hill.
Yeah, Mike, I was upset that I didn't get a chance to get out there that day with you, but it's if you remember last week, or for those that follow, we had Stephen Hennessy on, and Mike, you told Stephen flat out that's a top 10 golf course in the state. And as we were going through the rankings, it was fractions of a point away from being in the top 10. I think that was one of the closer, like the difference between 10 and 11 was like 0.2 or 3. So you're talking about basically top 10 of Jace here. And it does get talked about, a whole lot, and how good it is. And it's, I think the video shows that. I think you show it, the video shows it, Don talks about it. So getting into the top 10 is something they're really striving for there. So,
yeah, listen, I will say this. I left there that day absolutely blown away with that place. I feel like it hit on every aspect of what you and I talk about at length here. It has the history. You want to talk about the history aspect, which I know you geek out over. It is not just another private golf course in New Jersey. It's the first country club in the state. Okay, so you want to talk about history having this or that. Well, this golf course has it. You want to talk about who helped design it. I mean, shit, has every single architect that we all heard of. Tillinghast, Rayner, Banks, now Gil Hanse has his fingerprints on it. And I think that's something about this place that I feel like it just separates itself from others. Being able to have all 4 of these architects' names on the golf course along with the history, it just hits differently. And I think that's one of the things about Essex County that I just simply fell in love with. Not only was the golf course in unbelievable shape when I got to play it, but everything that people said about it was true. It's unique. It's special. You're going to have a great time out there. And I know people say all the time, it's the back nine. It's the best back nine in New Jersey. I don't discredit that at all, but I think you're also underselling the front. The front 9 has some great holes that Gil Hanse has done an unbelievable job with. So I love that place. I loved my time there. And I think everybody playing next week is in for a true treat, no matter what they shoot.
So Mike likes the backside and he likes the front side. So, he likes both sides. He doesn't discriminate.
Don't discriminate. Yeah, don't discriminate.
Yeah, it's they are certainly in for a real treat. Again, the pictures, the video, how you talk about it, and kind of where your thoughts are on how good that was is really really kind of took me away. So where do you think, like, where does that sit for you in your state rankings? Again, I didn't play it, so I don't have a number for it, but we've gotten to play some really good ones this year. Do you have like an order for those, or you want to hold that for later in the year?
I'm holding it. But
Okay.
I will tease you with this. I absolutely loved every single thing about that golf course. From what I just said to along with their updated logo being the fox, like there's certain logos that we talked about that just hit.
Yeah.
Okay. That just hit. This one hits. And
Some
I
of them
think
are so
that's just,
simple. Yeah.
it's just another thing for me that put the icing on the cake about this place. Um, the company that I had out there playing that day with Mike and Don, it was just like, it's the caddies. It was one of those things that you left there. You know, I even bring it up in the interview with Don. When we were sitting there, you and I were talking with him, like on the 18th hole, I hit it over the green and I got people sitting on the patio busting my chops. I thought Mike from the Drop podcast was a good golfer. Who hits it over the green on 18? Like those are things that I just love the ball busting because I'm one to give it out. So if you're going to give it, you got to take it. And it just made the day perfect in so many which ways. And listen, I'm not giving out my top 3, top 5 best golf course. I'm not. I'll save that for a later date. But I will say this: I had a day to remember.
Good. Love it. If we can roll that in, you want to let's talk about the New Jersey Am.
Let's do it. Yeah, big time.
Again, obviously, you might have heard that the AM is going to be at Essex County this year.
Is that breaking? Are you breaking that?
I don't think I'm breaking it. I think we've
Okay.
already broke that.
Oh, okay.
For those that are like curious about like the AM here, we've played Francis Byrne, and Essex County used to be 36 holes, and then it broke away, and now Francis Byrne is the lower, and Essex County is the upper. So when we've talked about Francis Byrne, and Mike likes how much he likes Francis Byrne, it's not really a shock, Mike, that you like Essex County that much as well. So if we look at the Mike, we got the pairing sheet here, and we got some dudes in this week. You got Corey Brigham, Dean Greyserman, Blake Barnes Blake. This is just early in the morning. You got Reed Greyserman. So we got obviously the other 2 Greysermans are in here. Pat Wilson, Colin Summers, Cole Eckert. We got all the Pat Senna. No, that's your guy. We got all these guys. I'm not going to go through the whole list here, but it is a loaded field, Mike, and we've talked about this numerous times. The amateurs in this state are really, really freaking good. We got some really good ones. So what do you think is needed? You've played the course. We've talked to Don. What do you think someone who plays at a high level, Mike? I mean, no offense, you could have qualified if you had gone through the qualifiers, but you might be able to get there. You shake your head no, but we know that you have at least the possibility, right? You're in the realm. What do you think someone is going to need to do here specifically to play well and score well here and potentially walk away with a win? They're going to have to roll. Is it the person who putts the best? Do you got to hit the most fairways? Is the rough super penal? What is it like out there?
I don't know if the rough is super penal. I don't know if that's driving the ball. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily like the end all be all. There are some tight driving holes, and it's obviously better to hit the fairways than it is to put the ball in the rough. But I do think like, something along the hitting your irons. I think your iron play is going to be important because, these bunkers are steep, man. They're not easy to get in and out of. And if you saw the video yesterday for the Mike versus on the 8th hole, like you saw how steep that bunker was on 8. I do think there are some gettable holes out there. I do. But I also think there's some holes out there that could really eat you alive and you could walk away with a double saying, wow, I can't believe I did that. So my guess, and if I'm, saying like, oh, if I'm emphasizing one thing, it's like ball striking, because I think that's going to be probably the most important thing, because even if you miss a fairway here and there, like, the rough is there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not healthy the way it was at, like, say, Oakmont. But I do think being able to get the ball pin high will be kind of like a deciding factor, because listen, you said at the top, these dudes are good, man. I'm not playing with these guys. This is a different level good. I mean, you see what these guys do on a basically a week in, week out basis, of which how many tournaments they're playing, whether it's state golf, MGA golf, collegiate golf. Like, these guys are out and about. So I don't know what I think the final score will be. I'm going to guess it's going to have to be somewhere in like that -6 to -8 range. That's my guess. But to pick a name, I don't even know if you can, because so many guys are playing so well. I guess it's one of those things like, how do you bet against Reed Greyserman knowing how hot he is right now? The dude's on
Scorching.
fire. The
Mhm.
dude's on fire. Him and I were exchanging texts last week. It was like, he's feeling very confident about his golf game right now, but so should Colin Summers. I mean, the dude is right there. He was neck and neck the whole way with Reed out
Mhm.
there. Dean's playing well as well. The Greyserman family, frankly, is playing well at that point. And then we got some of our Madness Squad River guys in there. We got, I should say I got those guys out there. You got Chris Housen's out there.
I'll take we. I'll take.
Yeah,
I'll,
okay.
I could be,
All
I
right.
could be
Well,
a
we'll
Jace.
throw the we in there.
We told Chris I'm a pseudo member.
Yeah. Chris out there, Jerry's out there, Austin's in the field. Like, you got a bunch of named dudes out there, and I can't lie. I think this is probably the most competitive golf tournament we have in New Jersey. And I don't know if that's a bold statement or a hot take, but I do think when you go from top to bottom and you're looking at these named guys, and I know they're not like PGA Tour household names, but for guys like us that follow this, from the beginning to the end, like, it is a named dude in every twosome that tees off from 7:30, basically all the way through to 2:00. So I think it's a credit to you if you make the cut. And God almighty, if you're holding that trophy at the end of this thing come next Wednesday, boy, oh boy, you beat some big time names. And like last year they started, you win this tournament, it's a full ride straight to the USGA Amateur. USAM, you're in. You don't have to go through qualifying. You don't have to do any of that. So that's another reason why you got big name players playing in this big time event.
Yeah, Mike, I'm just looking at the list here, and it's just loaded with people. It's loaded with I'm going to call them household names. They're household for us because we've talked about them, or at least we, you and I do a little more looking at like leaderboards for these things. But someone may not know who I'm not going to call anybody out, but someone might not know who somebody is. But then there are people who we are constantly seeing on these leaderboards. Again, Austin, the Greysermans, who people know. Blake Barnes has with his year at Georgetown, has been phenomenal, and his juniors.
You got the
Pat
four-ball champs.
Wilson,
The
you got
four-ball
the
champs are in there. Henry's
so
in there. Sean's in there. Like,
right. We, Eric Lafonte, we've had him on, and you go through this whole list. We haven't even mentioned Troy Venucci yet on here, and like it's a who's who of a tee sheet, and I think that the leader, and I'm with you. It's going to be tough to pick somebody. I think the leader is the winner of this tournament is going to be someone who is that name. I don't think we're going to have like at the 4-ball there with those guys kind of, I don't want to say, be disrespectful and coming out of left field, but when we had them on, we talked to, hey, you guys are relatively new here, and this is your first win. We haven't really seen you on leaderboards. Where are you coming from was basically our first question. I don't think you're going to have something like that for this tournament. I think you're going to have one of those top guys is going to come out of there. Your Pat Wilson or your Troy Venucci, like those household name people, I think is what this week is going to bring. And again, not trying to put a name out there because I think it's so hard to pick, but that heavy hitting type name, I think, is the big one.
Yeah. This field is so loaded. I continue to go up and down it because, I mean, you even got dudes like Liam Pasternak, who's off to Notre Dame, who played really good golf with Barnes at the US 4-ball, so he's in a field. You got, some other just random names I saw that was like, okay, you got Mike Aselta from Ramsey. Like, you got guys in here from top to bottom, going off the front, off the back.
Yeah.
Listen, the nerd in me is going to be refreshing the golf genius every day coming next Monday.
Now, Mike, if I'm reading this right, they're going off in pairs.
Correct.
They're going off in twosomes, front and back.
Correct.
That's interesting. That's not usually, but it's not a match play format, even though they're off in pairs. It's pretty interesting. So, all right. So we got, let's, I guess we don't have any predictions there, so we can move.
I mean, do you want to make one?
I don't really. No, because honestly, I really don't. Like, I guess if you're going to put a gun to my head, like, how could you not? I mean, Reed Greyserman just won the Florida one of this, right? That was the Florida Am. That's what I'm saying. How can you not put him? There's nobody hotter in golf right now, maybe, than he is in as far as like amateur golf that we're in our world here. So tough to not pick him. Again, our guy Troy is Troy, right? He's constantly in the top. He's the Rory McIlroy of New Jersey golf. He's constantly in the top 10 here. So I don't know. I have no idea. I have no feelings on this one. Like I said, I think it's just going to be a kind of one of those quote unquote household name guys.
All right, I'll give a prediction if you don't want to.
No, go ahead.
All right, so obviously if you're taking Reed, I'll just venture outside the box. Okay. And I'll go a different route here. I just think he's been close. He's been playing well. I'm going Colin Summers of Plainfield Country Club. Okay. Colin wins this year's State Am at Essex County.
And again, wouldn't be shocked. -7 is the shocking part, but that's it. So, Mike, kind of going from there, we talked about Reed, a big, kind of a late congratulations to Reed for winning the Ike at Hamilton Farm. I mean, we were fortunate enough to go play Hamilton Farm last year. That place is just amazing. And to see what he's done with that place. So again, talking about Reed being hot, he wins the Florida Am, wins the Ike. Can he come in here and win the New Jersey Open, the New Jersey Am, I should say. So we'll see. So congratulations to Reed for that. We didn't throw that in there, so we probably should.
Yeah, he won on the playoff. I mean, and I'm not to say anything against Max, not to say anything, but Reed did win in a playoff, a 3-hole playoff, birdieing 2 of the 3 holes to win the Ike at his home course, which is never easy to do in front of people that are there watching you because it's your home spot.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, he's special.
He is. Certainly is. So kind of making a left turn, Mike. I said this at the top. You got to play Essex County, and we kind of recap that. I had a nice day at Pine Barrens, which I've never been to. And
never played Pine Barrens.
Never played Pine Barrens. Nope.
Wow.
And it was a real treat. It was a really nice day. I didn't get to see Brian, the head pro, Brian DeMarco. I didn't get to see him, but it was nice to get out and see the course. And I think someone said this, and I think it's a good comp, that it's a JV Matita Conch. It's got that Matita Conch vibe, that it's got the big bunkers, it's got the pine trees that you can't see other people out on the course. It's not nearly as hard or as nice as Matita Conch, but it definitely has those Matita Conch vibes. I definitely felt that out there. I thought it was a really good comp to it. The clubhouse is super cool. It's like this log cabin. You got the exposed beams on the inside, which is really cool. The locker room is, again, like you're in a log cabin there. It's the best way to describe it. It's really, it kind of leans into the aesthetics of like you're in the Pine Barrens, and it does a really nice job of that. It's really a cool spot there. The golf course was in great shape. I liked how it kind of transversed the land. Like they really did a nice job. Some holes you're kind of long between holes, but it's amazing to see a golf course in, like, when you're on the cart path and you look to the right and it's nothing but woods. It's like, who sees a golf hole in that? And it's true. So I thought that was really cool. There were some great holes on there. as I mentioned at the top, the 7th hole, drivable par 4. And I didn't even take driver to it because we were a little downwind. Tee boxes did play a little up. So I don't want to give anything away with what happened, but I can tell you I still don't have a hole in one. It was really a nice day. So I did want to give a big shout out to Brian for having us out, my foursome out, and they were, it was a great day of fun. It really was super hot, but enjoyable round of golf. Is it breaking into the top anything in the state? Certainly not, but I don't think they're trying to. It was a really nice country club, golf club, really nice, fun track. I got nothing but positive things to say about it. It was really a good day. Greens rolled beautifully. And I don't think I came out with any ticks. So that was also a positive.
Well, okay. I mean, this is the question because I'm going to get this through a DM and I might as well ask you now then. Where did it rank on Ryan's rankings?
So I was thinking about this. Again, I thought it was a great course. I thought it was a if you're looking to like grade it, right? I thought it was a B, right? It wasn't an A minus or anything like that. I gave it a B rating. 8.6 was the overall average there, right? Between course conditions, pace of play, and all the stuff that we've talked about, which I felt kind of was right in where it should be. It was better than Berkshire Valley. It was right in there with kind of Rock Spring, which got just a slightly higher rating than it. It was just not quite like if I keep going, like Tidewater, it's a little bit better. It was right in there with Heron Glen. So I thought it was kind of right in that range there of where it should be. And yeah, so I again, a really nice course, just a solid golf club. It really was.
Yeah, well, listen, I haven't played Pine Barrens in quite some time, and from what I remember of it, it's very tree lined. You got to hit the ball straight.
Mm-hmm.
Course was always in good shape when I played. It always had that aura of being like another private golf course in Ocean County that just aren't too many. You got Conch that's out there in Jackson, and you got this one out there in Jackson as well.
Mm-hmm.
But being fully private, it's kind of always a little spot out there that I never had any, many bad things to say about it. I don't. The log cabin sticks out big time though.
The log cabin's really cool. And I'd say this, Mike, if that course is in Monmouth County, they're charging, I don't know what they charge. I don't know what fees are. I don't know anything about that. If that's in Monmouth County though, they're getting big time prices for it for sure. It's that good. But again, it's in Monmouth County. It's a little bit out there. It's again not quite Conch, so you're obviously not charging those prices or having that prestige. So it's it kind of falls where it does.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you had a good day out there.
Yeah, no, really nice. And the company that we were with that day was very good. So shout out to if you guys are listening, shout out to the other 3 guys in my group there. All right, Mike, for our last thing, I got a little game for you. We've kind of played those. I was thinking these. I need you to make sure you're off of our sheet right now, so I can unblack it, so I can see what it is.
I'm not on the sheet. I haven't been on the sheet. I just like to look at you as you tell me what we're talking about.
Oh, that's so thoughtful. Okay. You know the game Cuddle, Marry, Trash?
No idea what it is.
It's kind of like you're going to cuddle one of these answers, you're going to marry one of these answers, and you're going to trash one of these answers.
Okay.
There's another game with another title, but we're going to go with the PG version of it. Okay. So here are 3 that I think are pretty good ones. I think I know your answers, but I figured I'd throw it out there anyway.
Okay.
So again, you're gonna marry one of these where it's gonna be lifelong for you. You're gonna cuddle one of these where it's, hey, you're gonna kind of be there. Maybe it's an 11 p.m. Hey, you up kind of text, and then another one is gonna be you're throwing it out.
Okay.
You got Tiger's driver, Jack's putter, Sevy's short game.
Oh, I like that. Um, Cuddle, marry, Trish. So Trish is the one I want no interest in.
Correct.
Okay. So Trish, and then like marry's number one, like that's what I really want.
Yep.
And then Cuddle's number two. Is that am I
Yes.
understanding things right? Okay.
Correct.
So do you want me to go from 3 to 1 for you?
Sure. Couldn't care
Okay.
less which order.
So my trash, what I'm trashing is Tiger Woods' driver. It's going right in the garbage. Want nothing to do with that. I think he's awful.
Wow.
Get rid of
Okay.
it. I'm not in the business of hitting from the opposite fairways. I can't hit it out of the rough the way Tiger can. Don't want that. Number 2, in terms of cuddling, I'll get close, but I'm not marrying it. I'll get close with Jack's putter. Like Jack has been infamous for making some big time putts, especially the one at 86, the Masters. Like those things live in my mind, being the golf junkie that I am. And what I'm marrying, all day, every day is Sevy's short game. You want to talk about a guy with hands? My, oh my. I mean, I will take Sevy's short game any day of the week with those 3 being my options, because hell, if I could get up and down like Sevy could from anywhere, man, you want to talk about being a good golfer. I would be a really good golfer.
I mean, Sevy's creativity was second to none. And his ability, like you said, his hands, that's a good one. Not the order I thought, but hey, I figured I'd throw it out while I was sitting here thinking about things. So I was like, let's see what Mike would say about this. So
yeah, no, I like that. What'd you think? I was going to take Tiger's driver and marry that?
I thought so, yeah.
Why? Because it was Tiger Woods.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, listen, if we're talking golf game, with those 2 others being an option and knowing my short game is bad, I would love Sevy's short game. And then putter being part of the next part of it. I can drive the ball like Fred Funk. That's all I need.
Fred Funk. Yeah. Well, hey, that's July 1st episode of Cuddle, Marry, Trash for us here.
There we go.
So, Mike, you got anything else for today's episode?
No, but I will say this. Go over to our Instagram today. Go check us out. We're at Galloping Hill. Okay. I know it's Tuesday. It's July 1st. You and I are out there. We got the over-unders. And I do appreciate the people smashing the unders lately for us, even after my comment about how no one wanted to get on the bandwagon. But then we were wrong and we didn't hit the under. But I promise you this. Go over to Instagram, smash the under. We're going low today. And you're going to see a nice scorecard from the 2 of us at the end of the round.
Okay. Are you bringing an eraser, or are we getting second scorecards out there?
No, we're bringing our golf games, buddy. Okay. Pack them. We're heading north.
The driver might stay away then, if that's going to be the case. I'm going to be playing for the Reds tomorrow. All right, that's all for Mike and I here, episode 143. Stay tuned Thursday for our interview with Don Magic Wand, Don McCabe, head pro at Essex County Country Club. And again, just a great recap of the course and the preview of the State Am. As well, head over to YouTube, check out Mike's video as he kind of, Mike, I don't even know, not recaps the course, but previews, breaks down the whole course. So you can see the video, you got the interview, you get a really good view of what's going on there at Essex County this week. And that's going to be it for this week. So make sure you check that out Thursday. Till then, cheers.